until they can prove that they can do it without help for support, and then they get a second card.
How does the language arts, how's language arts kind of, is it different in, is it like in your elective, or is it,
There's a language arts exploratory as well.
there is?
Yeah.
How was the meeting last night, Shannon?
Good. The lady was very interesting. She did not follow her.
Who did you go see?
The neuropsychologist that came and talked to gate parents at Landell's last night. Gate parents from all over the district who wanted.
Did you want to
And she was great.
No, didn't get promoted at all, so.
Wow.
It wasn't bad, given that there was no communicative support, but did about 20 minutes.
But she was quite interesting. She explained what being gifted was and how to support them and how, our enrichment programs are good for them, trying to give them anything to hold on to so they can find what their passion is. So it was really good, and how, parents have to teach them to act like a person, because if you're a jerk, nobody cares how smart you are, nobody's gonna like you or wanna deal with you or your intelligence. So, she had some real good basic down to earth advice that was really
And she talked at the end a little bit about assisting with differentiation, yeah. A couple of things that teachers can employ, or actually the kids can employ, without extra teacher support.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she had a lot of good ideas that didn't require, whole district or, a huge faculty member to just devote their entire time to. So
That's great.
just different things that they could do.
You said you didn't have the, what, support or something?
Well, it didn't get out to all the schools, so.
Do you have any idea why? Is it not something?
I don't understand that, actually. So.
It was a psychiatrist.
Neuropsychologist.
Psychologist.
She said she's been doing this 48 years. Something like that, 1964.
That's a long career in any field.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, well, since it's 4:35, I think we're gonna get started. I think there's enough. Okay, so what I wanted to do today is I wanna go over, identification. I have the preliminary results from the new test that was given in March, and I wanna go over that with you. As part of advisory would give input as to the criteria that we've set, and then we'll take that back and see if we need to make any changes before we send letters.
It was done in March.
I'm sorry, it was done in February, it was
February.
done in February. Sorry, I'm off the month, it was done in February. And then I want to, we're gonna talk a little bit about identification moving forward, funding, the state status, as well as some conversations Craig and I have had about some proposals for next year. Elementary GATE conference is just moving forward, and we're ready to send letters for that for 4th and 5th grade, summer school, and then future programming. We're gonna get to all of those things, and we have a little less than an hour to do. So, what you have in front of you is the proposed criteria based on the new test that we gave in February. So in February, we tested all of the kids that would have qualified on the Ravens in the fall. There was 207 kids. What we took was our first cut point when we looked at scoring, we looked at the 95th percentile. On the Ravens, we used the 95th percentile plus 4 more correct answers. In order, that was the qualification for the Ravens. So on this, we just looked at the 95th percentile, which on the test we gave would give the kids a score, how they score it at 126.
Is that supposed to be something like an IQ or no?
It can't be an IQ because this is not a full battery IQ test. It's a nonverbal test. It's language independent. It's very similar to the Ravens, but this is how they score it. So they have these scores that have been tied to percentiles. So with the 95th, looking at the straight 95th percentile, we would qualify a total of 69 students. And you can see the breakdown, boys, girls. SED is socioeconomically disadvantaged, ELL is English language learners. Hi, Lisa. and, SPED is special education. Kids that may have IEPs that would have qualified, and then at the bottom you can see how that looks for the elementary schools, the kids that were tested. And with the criteria that we have here, Therapop would have no students that qualify. So then looking at the straight score, the 95th percentile, we didn't look at CST at all. In our previous criteria, the 95th percentile plus 4, kids had to have a certain score on the CST in English language arts or math. We didn't look at that at all. If they scored 95th percentile, they qualified them automatically. So then we went down and we had a lot of kids that were very high performing on the CST in English or math, or both. So we looked at a cut point of the 90th percentile on our new test, and we looked at those kids that had a CST of 500 or higher, because that's a strong academic score, and that would add an additional 15 kids. And then as we looked, there were some kids still in that pile that had the 500 or higher, so they're performing very highly academically. Right? But we were trying to pick up those kids as well. So we looked at that 80th percentile, and those kids, that 500 or higher group with our English language learners, and we were trying to pick up a few more kids, and that we picked up 4 more kids. So based on this criteria, we would qualify 88 kids out of a total of, we tested in the neighborhood of 615 kids. There's 615 third graders total, which would then put our qualification rate at about 14%, which is definitely more in line. Usually GATE qualification is 10% or lower of your population.
Which one gets you at 14%, the
The
95%?
88, the 88 number.
The
It's 48.
The 88, all 3 groups
Yes.
together gets you to 14%.
Gets us to right about 14.1% if we want to be specific. Yes.
Oh, I have a hard time.
Okay.
And how high was the qualification rate before the problems of the test surfaced? It was higher, 30%, something like that?
Yeah, we qualified 207 out of 60, 615.
To be 270 out of 615, and now you're down to, we whittled it down to 88, with the most inclusive. Are there ELL students in the top 2?
Yes, there's in the 95th percentile, well, only in the 95th percentile there's 9. If you look at the second chart, I tried to break it out by
Oh,
group.
okay.
So you
I
can
missed
take it,
that.
so we can kind of look at how it broke
Okay.
out.
I'm sorry, SED.
So,
Special ed.
socioeconomically disadvantaged,
Social.
ELL, and then special education. And the kids here in the special education home are kids that, there are kids that have speech and language difficulties.
And likelihood the SED and the ELLs are
They're probably the same
I was gonna wonder about.
in that first round, it's probably the same.
And so the SPEDs are at one of the conventional elementary schools as opposed to at home?
No, they're here, yeah, they're at one of our schools. So the last graph down at the bottom just shows the number of kids that were qualified by site.
So it's having a third house.
They're often have
What's the-
kids that were.
Is that, how about last year?
Well, on the test in the fall, because I didn't do a comparison to last year, but on the test in the fall, they only had 6 kids that were eligible on the wait list. And with the new test, we didn't have any. So, this says draft and confidential because it hasn't gone out, and one of the reasons is we need to get input from the advisory, input from you on what we've done here, listen, have some conversation. It's a change, and I think we hadn't looked at our testing and tests in several years, and our qualification rates for GATE were really high and really out of whack with what is a typical percentage of kids. I did do a little research. I googled the name of the test and tried to figure out how many if there was other districts that were using the test. And I left the data at home because I was doing it over the weekend. But a lot of the districts that I found that were using this particular test were using a cut point of the 97th percentile, which would change our numbers completely.
So you were saying that when you used Ravens before, you used 95th percentile plus 4?
Plus 4 more correct
Is that
answers.
like 97th percentile sort of thing, or?
The Ravens
have
only
any-
went to 95 the way
Right.
it was scored because it was the norm so many years ago, so it went to 95 and then
You get plus N.
we added a certain number. So when you see the Ravens score on my spreadsheets for the kids, you have 95 plus 12 or 95 plus 8 or 95 plus 4 and then, yeah.
So there must be a distribution among those pluses that
Mhm.
like would correspond to 96, 97,
Probably.
approximately.
Probably.
So it's 95 plus 4, something like 97-ish.
It could be.
96.
I didn't do the comparison.
Okay.
I didn't do the comparison.
But so even this most restrictive criteria is perhaps more lax than what you were aiming for Ravens. You know, like 95th, something higher than 95th percentile is what you were going for.
Mhm.
This is not, this is just that.
This is, yes, we took it down. We took it down. Definitely. And I mean, like, the other, one of the optional ways we've always allowed parents to qualify their kids for GATE is if they're, if they've had an IQ test, whether they've been tested for something. So a WISC score, which would be a combined IQ, which would look at the verbal, the nonverbal, and all those pieces, the kids would have to have a score of 131.
And that's like you guys.
So does anybody have any feedback, thoughts about this?
I was thinking the GATE population at Babcock is dwindling. I wonder what it was with this, anyway. No, I don't know if it's a particular test, it could be a cohort too.
It could be.
A
And,
cohort issue.
and I know as when I was principal at Montalona, when we give the test, different years brought different things.
Exactly.
You'd have a qualification of maybe 18 and then you have a qualification of 7 or 8. It just depends on the cohort again.
The effort to try to catch some students that might not have the same chance to score high on tests always, you know, with ELL or something else. To me, this seems in line with the district's overall mission to try to not just benefit, you know, it broadens the audience for whatever GATE programming ends up being, when you go with all 3 of the groups. But
it
it's still
definitely,
small, it's still so much
definitely,
smaller
it's
than
much
before.
smaller. It's much smaller because it's more representative of kids that are really GATE achieving.
So this,
This is definitely going to be, if we go with the way it is, there's going to be some people that I think are going to be upset and concerned.
that's true, every decision ever made,
Absolutely.
especially by school.
Absolutely.
So this would seem to solve, or at least, you know, make better some of the concerns about how big it was, like too big, like GATE was too big for a conference, too big for this and that, right?
Mhm.
Too big to fund.
Mhm.
So our decision is basically just approval of what's done after we've given them feedback. That's our goal. The first day is to either approve or make changes to the decision. And
So, the way GATE advisory works is it's advisory. So, basically what happens is everybody, I would love to hear input from everybody and then I'll take it back and we'll, if we need to make changes, we can talk about making changes or not. This was our work and our really crunching numbers and trying to address and really put the kids that are truly GATE the best we can with one measure, which is a nonverbal test, which of course is not going to be the perfect way of assessing kids. So I wanted to know how everybody felt and if there was any concerns or questions, or we can live with this and move forward and continue our conversation.
I mean, the only concern is not really about this test is the school like Dracov, where there are fewer students. Is it possible for us as a committee to work together so that they do still have a GATE program? So if you have more requests, somehow communicate and like on years, I mean, Castro and Montalona are both at 9, which is not that small, but I mean, if it's a consistent, it's I'm just wondering if we can sort of build in a structure so
Mhm.
that schools like Durakoff, if they only have 3 kids at their school, then they can still have a program that, you know, that would be the only, and it has nothing to do with this test,
Well, and
but.
Craig and I have talked a little bit about some proposals for funding and enrichment, which I'd like to talk about today as well, like to bring it up and see what your thoughts are. But what I wanna do is get through this and then we can talk about that, because I do think that's a valid concern. We wanna support our kids who, there's gonna be a lot of kids that don't fit the 95th percentile or the 90th percentile that still need enrichment, deserve to be able to, like you were saying, find those activities that's their passion and they can hook into. And I think that's really important.
Not to preempt what you were gonna get to later, but could I just offer a suggestion for that question? Stevenson has a model for this. This Stevenson GATE is open to anybody.
Oh, I know, this is like, I'm just, so like, they have, right now they have no 3rd grade and they don't have a model to support that, but their model is only GATE, and I know that like Bub does DI, so if Bub could come together with them, like Castro, we don't have.
That's what we did. We did, in Stevenson, we do DI. It's open to everybody without any GATE angle at all.
Yeah, but I guess the funding issue is an issue for them because they don't have the parent support
Well,
that
I have
students.
an
Yeah,
idea,
yeah,
so
so.
I got a
That's the
proposal for the
perfect-
funding.
Okay.
I got a
Okay.
proposal for the
Program.
funding that will be fair to everyone, I think.
Okay.
So I do have a proposal for that.
Alright, I think the numbers are, in my own, and typically we're looking, it's usually about 100 kids across the district that qualify for any one grade level. Right now, I think the 5th grade is a little bit abnormally high, but we have 150 kids. So the 88 is not too bad. What I kinda do like about the 95th percentile is that would those ELLs or SEDs or special, would they have qualified if they, I mean, in other words, we don't know whether or not they got a 500 or more on their CST.
If the kids hit the 95th percentile, which we thought was a pretty high score, they automatically
Okay.
qualify. We
No,
do not
no,
look at
that's-
CST.
No, that's good, because I'm thinking sometimes, because I've looked at just trying to develop a group of kids, like maybe 30 kids at my school, the only measure I have is actually the CSTs, and we're going only according to the CST scores, like 500. But I know I'm gonna be missing somebody who might be an ELL who could qualify. But because they took this test, that's great, I mean, some of them could have probably fallen into that category. So that's why I do like having that, a test like this, where it will capture some of the kids who are GATE thinking, but may not score really high on the CSTs.
So those are those 9 ELLs in the 95th percentile, perhaps. They might have the highest CST scores, we don't know.
Right.
That's right,
They could-
and I don't know,
Yeah.
right. So that's why I'm thinking, you know, it would be, I do like a test where it will capture a small, the right percentage that we want every year. And so just going strictly based on, I mean, I don't know, maybe just if I go straight to CST, I could actually, if I broke it down, I might have some ELLs in there too. But this is just another nice way to measure it.
So are you saying that you'd like the 95th, or would you like to, that's what
No, I do like the higher numbers up to 80%.
Oh, you
But I
do?
do like the numbers of 13 or 11, you know, of kids identified that were ELLs that do qualify for.
Without having to,
Without having to.
put it on the
Yeah.
back of their CST score as well.
Given that there's the socioeconomic and educational disparity pretty consistently among the schools that's clear here, I would be interested in, maybe accommodating the top scores of those schools that
You
feel
saying
like they're
normalize
off.
across the schools, like
Well,
20
instead
kids,
of-
20 kids per school sort of thing?
No, I think she's hitting like an exception for socioeconomics to
I was
increase the
gonna-
numbers at those
Were
specific
you gonna
schools.
say?
Pretty much that. That they have a little more variation in using the scores so that there's always a program at the school. It only enriches the entire population and it addresses it creates some cohorts and, you know,
So would that
provides
be
some
accomplished
consistency.
by adjusting these percentages? for school to produce approximately the same size
Mm.
gate class for versus reasonable.
So I mean philosophically in terms of the gate identification, if we're really, I mean, that's what we do at our school when we say if you're high enough you can come to our program,
Right.
it's enriching.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of when we're really just trying to identify gate, not that the middle schools use the scores, but if you're using this as an identification that you have a higher IQ, wouldn't it make sense to just leave the numbers as they are and then we can talk about the programmatic issues afterwards? But 88 seems, I mean, it's, a gate is 10%, 15 to, whatever percent of the population, just leave it at that in terms of identification. But then when we talk about programmatic, we can talk about how to catch ELLs, so that there's no fuzzy area about, well, my kid was not classified gate,
No,
it's because he's not Latino
yeah.
or he's not an ELL, like that argument, I think if
Yeah.
we say we do it based on numbers, it's a lot cleaner.
No, I understand, I mean, that's
Yeah.
why I was hesitant to even bring it up, but it's just, it's nauseating to see that,
It's hard. It's
That's gonna
definitely,
happen.
it's definitely difficult, but
and gate doesn't really, I mean, this has been part of what Craig is saying, is gate isn't even gate anyway. So, I think that not in this conversation, but a broader conversation is, what are we looking for?
and if we're really looking for truly what we're gonna say gifted and talented kids based on criteria, then I think we stick with the criteria. But I think we can do other things. I think we can do other things.
Would you suggest that we leave out to your last comment, this one is a ELL category specifically? Does that introduce the problem that you were suggesting we try to stay away from?
It complicates it. I think we do know a lot of things about the test on the CST. I guess the score 113, I have to look at, I came in late, so I can actually get to look and see the complete criteria. But yeah, on some level it does, I mean,
But then
it's
somebody will say,
nonverbal, it does, but we also, I mean, the ELO thing has always been there. I mean, ideally, yes, you would leave it out. But I think because we're trying to make an effort, but at some point you're gonna push the bar so low that it really, it becomes, clearly that kid is not gate and my kid is. It's like that whole, you have to cut the bar somewhere, and I think this is where they've arbitrarily set it, and we stick with it. I mean, we can lower it and raise it. It just, I mean, I find that if you keep lowering the bar, it will become that issue. I think at this point, most people could be satisfied with, there's only 4 extra ELLs who were caught by this, so it's not,
And I think the reason we caught them is because they were significantly high achieving kids, and their CST is over 500. So,
how high does CST go with?
It's 600.
And when you look at a 500 score, you're looking at maybe missing 2 to 3 points from either the language arts or the math.
Do we know what school they were from?
I haven't shared that, I've shared this with the principals as well, but I have not shared their school data with them yet.
Will this number change year to year, the 95th percent? I mean, do you anticipate it? So this will just be a set
I
thing,
don't,
so it won't,
I don't anticipate changing the 95th percentile.
Okay.
I don't.
I didn't know if that was part of the proposal, I couldn't follow the
Well,
conversation.
no, I think the other piece of this, and part of what we're gonna have to talk about with the proposal as well, and I think part of this goes back to this question of, do we continue to identify kids, or do we create a program that allows for enrichment in the proper site, where sites have some discretion about who's allowed to go into different programs? And I think that's the conversation we need to have. I mean, my concern is I've already had parents calling me saying, oh, my kid took the NNAT, I looked that up, oh, when's my score coming out? So the name of the test is out already. I know, and I tried not to, I had everybody give it on certain days, and then I had to turn it back in, and I tried really hard, but
So the test wasn't covered, it's only after the fact.
after the fact, but then going forward, where do we go? So I think that's a question going forward. I think the nice thing about this test, it was easier to get for the psychologist. We have a better way of scoring it, so I think the time commitment was lower. I think it's a better measure. I think we needed a change. But I think that's an issue that's still on the table is, are we gonna continue to go ahead and identify? Are we gonna go to a different model? So maybe what I'm hearing is we're okay with this criteria right now, and we can move on and I took some notes, you know, about how do we work it for the schools like Theracoff that aren't fitting in and maybe this 80% complicates things. I took some notes and I'll bring that back for discussion.
The test was not announced, correct?
No, it was not.
And every year, it's never announced.
Well,
The Ravens, people
The Ravens
generally know
was.
the Ravens.
it was
People,
put on
people
the-
knew the Ravens, that
But they knew it was gonna be on this day or something, or
Yeah.
is it a surprise? Is it
It's
pop
in our
test?
bulletin.
No, it goes out in the bulletin
Oh,
and they're given usually a window that the psychologists are working and they'll be testing during the window.
the parents don't get that bulletin, do they?
Yeah.
And I've never seen, I didn't.
Well, it
receive
goes out,
Parents knew.
Okay.
Maybe not all parents, and some parents knew.
and I think because we went a couple years ago to test everyone and opt out rather than an opt-in model, I don't think parents looked at it. Years ago, parents actually had to write a letter and say, yes, I want my child tested for GATE. And we, a few years ago, went to, we're gonna test everybody in third grade. So, and if you didn't want your child tested, you would have to opt out. So I think that's why. Okay, well, let's continue then, our conversation. So, this idea of funding, and this kind of goes to programming and identification and all the pieces together. So, looking at the new state funding formula coming out, it looks as if with the new funding formula, there is going to be no identified money for GATE at all in the new funding formula. However, that doesn't mean we can't still have programming. So one of the things that Craig and I talked about, and we kind of ran this by the principals too, as we're starting to talk about next year, was what if we looked at a model where the district gave each site a certain amount of money kind of on an ADA basis or a per child basis. So for example, I'm just going to use Theracoff for example. Theracoff has a certain number of kids. Let's say we gave them $20, an amount in $20 a kid for their 3, 4, 5s, and they would get $4,500 as opposed to they get $1,150 now. And so with that money, Theracoff, and I'm just using Theracoff as an example, would be able to work to create enrichment opportunities, however they wanted to do. I know right now they've got a science club and technology and some other things, but they would take that $4,500 and that would be earmarked for those enrichment activities for kids. Now, with that being said, we could also do, and I think it would be important, is that schools would then have the ability to set criteria for who could enter different programs, whether it be academic, however they wanted to set their criteria for programs. For example, Bug runs a program right for math. I was talking to Mary a little bit, and they have a CST criteria for kids to enter that program because it's a rigorous program. It's for kids that are really interested in math, and they need to have a criteria for that in order to enter and participate. But what we're proposing is that we would give the sites a much larger chunk of money in order to provide enrichment for the kids. But it would have to go to enrichment. It wouldn't go to like a GATE teacher, but it would have to go to enrichment type programs.
What's the difference between going to a teacher and going to?
Because with a teacher, you cannot afford a teacher on $4,500.
But by the hour? Oh, not a dedicated teacher.
That's
But
what I
it
mean,
could
not
be
a
teacher
dedicated
time.
person. It could be teacher time who's
Okay.
running a program, but we couldn't want like all $4,500 to go to one person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
And where does the money come in from? There's no money from the state.
well, it would come out of the general fund. We would find money. There's no earmarked money for GATE, but we would find the money.
Well, there hasn't been for a while, right?
There hasn't been.
You got
But we
seven.
were kind of waiting to see with maybe this new funding formula if they put it back in.
And when did they announce it about the overall?
Yeah. And we haven't, any of the budget things that Therese has gone to, because I've been watching it, it hasn't been put back in for GATE.
Did anything get put back in? Like they unlinked half a dozen or more programs in short?
I haven't been to a budget workshop, so.
Well, this sounds really good, I think.
I hear from because I know there's a variety of opinions in our room, and I want to hear from
gate engineering bit can be used to address gate funding at each site. I mean, we get more than $1,100 if you wanted to do more for gate students, but it also includes students who aren't gate, and it doesn't keep people from doing this program, so I think it's a wonderful option.
So it's like the budget's like 4 times bigger now.
We'd be
So,
4 times.
is there any, I mean, that sounds, I don't know who would disagree with that concept.
Well,
Every school's gonna get
what
a
I'm
lot more
trying to-
money.
I would.
Yeah, and what
Oh,
I'm
you'd like to
trying
be
I
10
think,
times.
No, I just would disagree with this particular thing. I need more information. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I think there's some, I think, one of the big pieces out here is just this whole identification piece. Because that ties into this, are we gonna identify or are we not gonna identify? Right?
That's a different
But if we
question.
Yeah,
don't,
it is, but
if we
it's
don't
part of this.
identify, then how would we know how many per ADA at each
It
school?
wouldn't be based on gate, it would be based on your number of kids in 3, 4, and 5. So for a
The
bigger
bigger
school,
school.
you're gonna get more money, so a school.
Enrichment for everybody.
So it's for everyone.
For
Okay, I thought
everyone.
it was just the numbers, and I was thinking, how did you come up with 45, just, 10 kids? That's
Yeah,
$25.
It's for every kid.
Yeah, okay.
Which I mean, that's what my understanding was, that you could use it for gate. Like you could say, we're going to use, instead of 1,100, we need 1,500 for gate enrichment, and then you could use the other 3,000 for other enrichment that could include other students.
Mhm.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, so I think along with that, we would allow the schools to set criteria for their enrichment programs, because the idea behind this is that it's really enrichment and that it doesn't become babysitting for kids. It has to be programs, and I think, again, it goes back to what you were saying, kids that are passionate about doing different things. And you want kids to participate in it because they want to be involved in it, and it fits a niche that you may have at your site. And I think programs may not look the same at all the different schools, because you're gonna have different teachers, different experiences, different parents, so different niches of what would be wanted.
So would that be able to continue type program we have now, that's during the school day, and it's, let's see, they're starting Destination Imagination, they have the Math Olympiad, they have junior Greek books, things like that, but it's during the school day, it's not.
That's gonna be, I'm gonna be working with Heidi on her enrichment program, and what it looks like, I think next year, we haven't nailed it down. But I don't think it leaves out that opportunity for them to continue that, because it seems to work for them.
So the activities could be done during the day?
I think-
Enrichment activities, or we haven't decided?
I think the goal would be that we want it to be an after-school type of thing.
What if you have a group of parents who prefer that it be during the day?
I think we have to figure out, you have to work with the site principal, and we have to figure that piece out. I don't think I wanna rule anything out, because I think there are some.
Well, I think that feeds into the disparity in the numbers too, is that, it's easier to capture more children during the day in a differentiated learning setting than it is after school when they feel like they're being punished or if it's not their particular interest, so.
I think criteria would have to go along with that, like, you have to look at criteria, kids that shouldn't be missing class shouldn't be missing class, does that make sense? There has to be some criteria behind it, if you're gonna do something like that. I know it tough, if the kids aren't making it on their report card, either academically or lifelong learning skills, that comes with what's in the probation. And they have to be, they have to be
Well, I
in
mean,
the
that only
regular
makes
classroom,
sense.
and I think that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. It's something to participate in, but you have to be performing it and doing your job.
Well, and also those are the kids whose skills need to be seen on the API scores, so it's important that the core learning be addressed. This $4,500, is it, how many years are we talking about? And I think my concern would be, that's really nice for next year, but then maybe the year after or the year after it disappears. Cause this sort of seems like death by 1,000 cuts, this gate stuff.
And
Each
that's
year,
what it's been.
yeah.
I don't know if I can answer that question, but I don't see it being a 1 year, then we're gonna get rid of it type of thing. I think it's more of a long-term plan of how do we support enrichment at our schools, in mind, at least from the conversations I've had. Not we're gonna give it to you once to appease everybody and that's all.
Another concern I have is, in these conversations, the cohorts were really identified as an asset for the children to be among peers who thought like them, which is why I was thinking if we have a school without numbers, even if we take their top learners and sort of give them that extra nudge, it's still in that realm of taking the top learners and sort of giving them some extra energy. If we're only doing enrichment, then you've completely watered down the cohort theory. I don't. And again, I know it goes site by site, but without district sort of celebration of the that percentage that we're talking about, I really see that dissipating it, watering it down. I'm all for enrichment, and I think that lots of schools do the enrichment, but if we're talking about the cohort piece, I think that's lost. District-wide, site by site, I get the site by site, it's gonna be different. District-wide.
At the last meeting, I've been actually feeling very strong about, the gate testing, and then after that last meeting, I kept thinking, I need to be thinking, like I teach my DI kids, is you gotta think differently, think out of the box, and think, can this happen? And is there another way to look at it? And so I went back to talk to our principal, and so we're looking at the next group of kids, the third graders, which I am trying to work with right now. And I said, I don't have a list. What should I do? She goes, well, let's just go ahead and take let's go ahead and look at the scores and look at the kids and how many we have. And it looked like we just looked at about the score of about 500, which is what we're doing here. And I came up with about 30 kids. Now, and also within our DI program, I do allow other families to join in who express an interest and want to be committed to it, and they like that program. And usually those are the kids that are doing really well because they have extreme acting talents or really good mechanicalness about things. And so it's worked for us so far. And so I'm going to go with that model this year right now too. I don't have a list of who qualified, and at this rate, I think we only have like 15 at our school, 19 at our school, which I'm actually looking at 30 kids. So I'm covering hopefully those kids and some other kids too. I know it causes a lot of stress among the district and the principals and even the teachers as far as, did my kid pass? They did pass. If they did pass, what should I do? And how can I do? What can I do to, get my kid in there?
Uh-huh.
And then the big question is, in the very long run, what does it matter? The middle school doesn't look at it. The high schools don't really look at it. Why are we stressing our parents and our kids out at this? Because not only the parents are stressed out, but it gets pushed onto the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a couple of parents that will come into it. You know what? We've got the genes, and I don't know why my daughter did not pass. My husband's a doctor, I'm a doctor, and we've got the genes, and Harvard, and and I just said, I don't know. I don't even know your child's
Tell them
parents.
genetic recombination.
And so you get these conversations with parents that are very stressed out about this one little thing.
Yeah.
And I had parents who weren't very stressed out. All of a sudden, they said, "So it does matter?" And I said, "So maybe I should care more?" And all of a sudden, they turn the tables around from being uncaring and saying it doesn't matter to their child to being, you better pass. And the child is, so I don't know whether or not it depends on how much we really need those numbers. I think this test does put a lot of extra stress on parents and kids. I mean, there are many parents who don't care either, but there are a fair number of them that
Your anecdote, though, those people have a problem, right? That's not a problem with random test. Those parents have an expectation problem and a pressure problem.
Right.
That's their own, and I'd hate to see like a good program be impugned by people like that. I think they need to go talk to somebody, as opposed to like, let's take the program away so they don't have to worry about it anymore.
Really, I think that's a very small percentage of the overall parents.
That act like that. My kid is gay.
No, I disagree.
Really?
I disagree. That percentage is very large at 2 of the schools in this district. It's approaching 50%. Yeah. at two of the schools in the district. So
50% of the GATE identified
50% of
families, the parents are.
parents really want their kids in there because they think that they are missing out on vital information that's gonna help them. I mean, that's why they had their kids study for the test and obtain the
Half
test.
of the parents at the school.
Well,
Well, it went
Hundreds
from
of parents.
160 to 88.
200.
Yeah,
It's
it went
200.
to
Yeah.
200, yes.
Why don't more people come here if like half of several schools worth of parents?
not
So concerned
several,
about
just
gateway.
one or two.
Two schools, half the parents, there are hundreds of parents. How come it never comes up? Like, it's never mentioned at the board meeting, it's never mentioned, they don't come here, it's never in the newspaper, it's never anywhere, it's totally silent. I don't know how there can be hundreds of super agitated parents on this issue. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean,
And
that,
anecdotal from our school side, I've never had a parent come up to me and be agitated.
yes, you're
either
not
way.
one of the two schools. She's-
I've had parents at my school, but I've also had kids, I mean, we follow this program. I mean, this model of everybody's allowed to participate. And they are met academically where they need to be and they're pushed when they need to be. It's one of the most brilliant kids I know, never passed the GATE test. And he'll look at you and he'll tell you, I am not spatially gifted. And he wins state awards in writing. I mean, he is just beyond brilliant, but he can't pass the GATE test. And he'll tell you, I don't do spatial relations. I can't do spatial relations, which is kind of funny because his parents see him dance, and so does everybody else in his family, and he sings it and films it. But he's very well-adjusted kid, very well-adjusted parents, and then I have parents where I have twins where one's GATE, one's not, and the mother's all over me about it. It's not hard to do. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's hit
That's
and miss
just-
depending
it's
on
life.
the year, depending on the kids. It's not one set of parents. You can't make a big generalization.
I think I want to just go back to what Gail said at the beginning, just really thinking outside of the box. What we know now is that we can gate and identify with the ravens and with this new test that you have. What Gail said was that she used another criteria that she didn't even think about until that wasn't an option at her school. I think that's what we want to try to get to. Are there other ways in which we can identify these students that it alleviates the pressure of, even if it's 1/10 of the population, not 1/2, or even if it's like 5 kids at one school, that's still a huge burden on teachers when they have to talk to these parents about this, which the teachers, coming from a teacher, we don't have anything to do with the GATE program in terms of who identifies. We have no control over that whatsoever. We can say the test is given on this day and that's it. I didn't even know what day the test was given this year because I'm a teacher in grade. So I think that's what Gail's point was, and I think maybe as a committee that's what we could work towards rather than saying should we give a test or not. Is this the only criteria that we can use? And if it isn't, what other criteria that may be more effective for students so that they have a cohort? I mean, at Therapop, this test didn't catch anyone at Therapop in 3rd grade, but I'm sure there are kids who are intelligent who need to be enriched. And so,
It did just at a lower level, right? Lower percentage?
is there how thousand
But if
third
there's
No,
graders?
they don't,
currently-
they didn't have anybody,
In the 90.
You didn't need the 3 buckets.
No, they may have had somebody in the 80th, who was not an ELL. So that was
But
just ELL.
their CST scores weren't,
But they didn't have any,
500 or higher.
they did not have anybody in the 95th percentile.
Right.
No one.
Yeah.
But there's possibly they did in the 80 and above because we don't have visibility of that. So.
But so it's just like something like that. At Therapop, there are kids who need to be enriched, and why are we saying that the GATE is the only way to do that? And I guess that's what I'm trying to say is like we're thinking so inside this box of this is what we've always done. We got to keep doing it or something similar.
My concern is that that's incredibly subjective. So without
Not with ours right now, we're just saying, the people who were invited, I have made this cutoff on the CSTs, and that's it. But then there have been some, if you like this particular program, you're still invited to come. You're not excluded from it. If you really wanna make that commitment and you think your child would benefit from it, then you're welcome to come.
then you have a contract across the board for the families and the child to make a commitment to show
Yes.
up. to deal with the overachieving parents who are pushing a child who's not so game, right, to kind of balance it out.
'Cause you're
As
gonna
far as your
find-
energy,
right,
cause that was your
right.
concern, right?
Right.
How am I gonna do this program if it is babysitting and I get 30 kids dropped off to me that I have to do this?
Mhm. Right.
So the contract helps that as well, so
Right.
using the CST.
So, and then, so it's a clear line right there, so we just said, well, this, and then also, well, are you willing to make that commitment to do this program? If, you know, if you be a team manager, you can do this and this, and, you're welcome to join the program. So anyway, so I'm gonna try that out, cause I don't have a list, and I need to get started, soon, I need to get started this Friday.
But if you had a list, you would've just used it.
Yes.
But
I've got-
this is second
that's
list.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm okay with it now. I guess at one point in time, I was not okay with it, and now I'm feeling
got
like,
okay
you
with
know
it.
what? You
Yeah,
know,
I have
I can
another
live with
option.
it. You know,
If some of the I'm sorry,
if
your
some of the
bu-
19.
your list, if some of the 19 aren't on your list of 30,
I could.
when you
find
find out, you could,
Yeah.
you try to put them in.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they would be invited to come.
Yeah,
They-
you
they would not
offer the
necessarily-
opportunity to them
Yes.
specifically, if they hadn't already been in your 30 or showed up with the interest. Okay.
Have you already sent the invitation out to the 30 to meet on Friday, right?
No.
Oh, you have, okay.
I'll do that tonight.
Can I ask a question about Randall? So do you have a hybrid or not of, like enrichment and GATE? Is that what you have at Randall's now?
No, we just have the after-school enrichment program.
But is it
Oh,
eight
you don't
only,
have-
or is it?
Is it
It
just
says
GATE?
GATE only.
GATE
Yeah,
only
No.
that have been identified?
Right,
Gate identified plus.
plus a few. We have other children that are interested that teachers could recommend. It's about, 6
Just a
in the whole program.
It's a hybrid.
I would say expected.
Right, well, I don't think we're gonna get, ever to total agreement. But it sounds to me that at least having more funding, if it's consistent, is attractive, yes?
We never know what next year's gonna bring, and if you agree they're gonna triple the funding or cut it by to a third, I think people would generally agree with the tripling. The people in this room,
That would be.
I would think that you'd think that's a good thing, cause $1,100 seemed like a round number, but not enough to do
And I
anything.
think it also takes off we don't have to then be nickeling and diming all of our parents,
Oh,
at the
this means
district.
no ask
request.
ever.
No, what it means is that we wouldn't ask as a district, but then sites would still have the
Just the
opportunity.
PTA nickels and dimes.
But
And
it
we
would
can't even do
take,
that because the PTA can't serve one community, right?
but it would allow that if we gave you the chunk of money, it would also allow you to still solicit funds if you wanted to for enrichment. You still could do it by site. You wouldn't have to do it, you wouldn't do it as here in this.
But legally, we can't do it unless it's open to everyone in enrichment. Because we don't have a way to solicit funds for the designated populations.
Well, but if you're
Not a
offering,
designated.
That is a
population.
question.
if
Not
you're
a designated
offering, if
population.
you're offering an enrichment program and you have criteria on it, you can ask for a donation.
Through the PTA.
No, you can ask for a donation if you're running an enrichment program through the school, because the school would technically be sponsoring it, right?
The school, okay.
So you can ask for.
Because that's what my PTA is saying, is they can't sponsor any gate stuff because, so that this would be, we
Right.
can
You
solicit
could-
funds
you
through
could
the
still
school.
solicit funds,
Through
yes,
the witness.
for enrichment purposes, it would be a donation, so you
With
would
criteria,
get this
okay.
kind of money, this bucket, but then you would also be able to do that outside of that as well.
Okay.
Because it would not only be GATE, it would be others too, that's why.
Maybe,
Right.
depending on the site.
Well, it'd be criteria, based.
Whatever it is.
So why not have a district ask?
Who do you ask?
Well, it would presuppose that there's some type of identification, whether you use CST or, Ravens or NNAT. If you have a test or a cutoff at the district level, you'd ask them,
You could.
but it sounds like
Unless we
you
don't
guys don't
have
want to.
a district level test, which I think
Okay.
is on the table as well.
It's almost hard to do a district level ask unless you have a specific goal for it. Other than saying, it's just as for our big pot of money to get sent out to the schools, or is it for the conference, or is it for summer school or something like that? It's a lot easier to ask for money for a specific goal.
I made that exact recommendation here, like 6 months ago, because I didn't respond to the ask, because it just said send in $200. When I asked my principal what it's for, they had no idea. So I didn't send any money in. But if it had said this is gonna go, this conference costs $5,000 or $10,000 and some thing costs this and there's a decent chance my child would be in some of them, then I would have sent the money in. I think that parents are often willing to chip in, and foreclosing the possibility of them chipping in doesn't seem, I don't understand the reason.
Well, I think the problem we were having, at least from my perspective as I came in, is that parents didn't want to contribute to the district, they wanted to contribute to the site.
And that's why people talk about multiple asks, district level, school
Right.
level. And this one is the district ask,
Right.
and the schools want to ask, they can ask too.
People were confused as to.
I mean, as far as finding the money, I don't know why a district asked, it just kind of went in to the budget to kind of offset this ADA level number for every school. Why wouldn't that be a good thing? Why would the district not want extra money? And as long as it's clearly delineated that here are district level enrichment programs that your money might go to, and you'll as well.
Yeah, so what I'm understanding from what we talked about in the past, if the district does a district level ask, they need to administer the test, which actually costs money. So the money that you're paying for would also, the test would offset that money, so it's almost canceling out.
Except
because
you
the
get
test-
something, except you get identification for it.
Yeah, but then the
That should
money
be on
is
there.
not there.
It should be there, it should say, this money partially helps pay for the identification test that resulted in your child getting this letter. That's fine too. I mean, it's gotta be paid for, it's gotta be paid for. I think that's perfectly legitimate to point that out. I mean, why in these times of limited budgets, we would say, yeah, let's not ask for any money. Seems like it's only, even if no one if it takes staff time, a little staff time, and then nobody sends the money in, then, oh. But if $10,000 or $20,000 come in, isn't that I think that'd be a good thing.
I guess what I was saying is if no money comes in and you spent money to identify, you're actually losing money, you're not gaining money. I think if you ask only at the site for kids, so whether you're GATE or not, you contribute to what your child participates in or the program there. So then you don't have to worry about whether your child is identified or not, and you're not costing any money. All the money you spend is going directly to enrich your child, not to label your child. I think that's where I was coming from with not even worrying at the district level. Is that if there are parents who don't want to donate to the district and to their site, they'd rather just give to the site, they're losing money from the district. That's where I was coming from, so.
Is my school, Stevenson, the only one that tries to get everybody to give money to the site?
Yes.
It's the only one.
Every school tries to get money.
Through the PTA.
Not at the same. I mean,
Yeah,
through
I'm trying to get
Through the
100%.
walk-a-thon.
Well, no, but
We're getting
no,
money
they
to
said,
so it's coming
they said,
out.
please send in this much times
Stevenson is
children.
a cost program to
Yeah.
the parents. I mean, it's marketed that way too.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they were at Castro, it was very much like the parents contributed. I think it was $125 versus NDI. It's like a $50 meal. It's like pay if you can. So like it was a very big difference on campus when the fact was there and they asked for huge amounts of money from parents.
It's $300 a head now.
Yeah.
I
So-
can't even think of asking that of my staff.
There's
Asking or expecting to get it?
I can't, it would be insulting to ask because I know they won't get it. We have close to 7% free Regis lunch.
I have a kid who
well,
can't
the other
afford
30%.
glasses.
Oh, the other 30%.
We don't have the socioeconomic economics to do that.
Yes. There are kids who at my school cannot afford glasses. The school has paid for glasses to support kids to see. So I think
That's that kid.
no, this is my entire class of all ELLs, all 100%, and this is a whole strand of Castro. So it's unfeasible it's not feasible to ask.
Infeasible.
Infeasible. Not feasible.
Well,
It's just not realistically, it doesn't make that much sense to ask them for money when we know they can't support it, and then it's just
Then they feel uncomfortable
Really?
coming to the school
Yeah,
because
they
they
won't.
can't contribute and you just alienated the parents. It's not worth it.
I think I can, from my perspective at Montaloma, we talked about doing this to our parents. I think what the problem we ran into was the same parents were being asked, and it was the same parents contributing, it was the same parents volunteering, and then we had. So we
Well,
tried. For now.
When you have 30% doing
Are you?
Just one thing, my main thing since I walked in the door was that we have differentiated learning in the class day, that the teachers be trained to provide whatever term I'm supposed to use for the curriculum and whatever term I'm supposed to use for the kid. I don't care. Differentiation to the kids who are at that special ed level that we're talking about. There's a huge disparity about the amount of money spent on special ed at the lagging levels compared to the other. And like, if I were Queen of the World, I would take that $4,500 and make sure that the teachers had what they needed to provide during the school day. I'm all for enrichment, but you know, I think there's lots of kids who aren't engaged, and I would like a larger percentage of the kids engaged in a larger percentage of the school day. Not that you all don't, I'm just saying that's my perspective.
You know what though, I think you make a good point. I think there's a lot to be said for instructional practices and improving practices all the time, and I agree with you. I think as we move forward into Common Core and this is gonna be a big piece of what we're gonna talk about as we transition, because Common Core, the standards are gonna step it up, the expectations are gonna be higher, and the differentiation piece is going to be very, very important. And so professional development for teachers, I think it fits right in, and I think you make a very good point.
Yeah.
Differentiation in the classroom, our funding sources tend to target those kids, and we haven't had the funds to target this other group of kids that we know is there and needs it.
And now as a district, the trend is moving towards not identifying at a district level, and then, I don't know, it just seems like it's really being watered down. It's sad to see. And then my kids are in this bubble of not getting any of it, right? So they didn't really get GATE. They're not really benefiting from the core curriculum and stuff that's coming up. So I think it might be beneficial for the sites of the district or somebody to look at this bubble of kids that are sort of in the middle.
And I think your comment doesn't go into yours, but it's the conversation that we have all the time about this piece.
Well, that's what I meant. I'm not saying this thinking you don't agree with me. I'm just saying it so that it's said in the room and in the notes.
And I'm glad you did, because it's a piece that we have to address as we move forward and changing and looking professional.
As I'm looking at some of the Common Core standards, or you don't call them standards anymore, or what they're requiring of the kids, it is actually differentiated and actually asking them to do a lot more deeper level thinking already, and it's all kids, not just the GATE kids.
Right.
So which is really good. And so I think the Common Core is going to solve a little bit of those problems in a sense of that. But as I'm looking at what they call the icons, the depth and complexity icons, and I'm going to talk to my school tomorrow about some of that stuff and remind them what the icons are. And I'm reviewing it. Oh my gosh, this is right exactly what Common Core is asking, looking at patterns, looking at themes, looking at a perspective of something. So that's exactly what the GATE training for icons are. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how everything all pans out and what kind of training the teachers are going to need to meet, how to help these kids pass the Common Core test now, because it's going to be a lot more rigorous than just a multiple choice test.
Alright, I think we are at our time.
I guess we'll just pass out the GATE conference stuff and read through.
Yep.
Okay. So, GATE, the conference is on April 19th. Just pass those out real quick there. These are the topics that will be taught. Because where there are only 100 kids in the 4th grade kids, I don't need to offer the extra class like Sharon taught last year. But then that bubble of kids is in the 5th grade, and then I threw in another class from CSMA, aluminum can structure art. I saw them do it a few years ago, and I thought it was pretty cool. Where they take an aluminum can, they actually do make some sort of structure out of it. So it's pretty much the same as last year. Vern's going to help with the marble science. I have parents doing the microcontroller class. CSMA is going to do the aluminum can and the manga drawing. PYT is going to do the dancing and theater. science, which I think some schools do at first grade, whatever, third grade or whatever it is. And they don't seem to remember it, they love it, that is, it totally is like, oh, this is, I thought it wouldn't be, but they love it,
Oh, no,
so,
no, no.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is differentiated.
Yeah. Mhm.
First grade, did almost need to different than fourth grade.
Yeah, and they have they have a lot of they have the kids who volunteers and go up there. The Google Earth, which is the same father that has helped out, he's from Google and he helps out, does this all the time. So the only thing that's different, we, did invite, Jim Wiltons, and he's gonna be doing something Indiana Jones with his whip, and I double checked everything, as it was okay to bring his whip in, and it's like, Steve goes, as long as he doesn't use it on any kids, just don't touch it. And I said, okay, fine.
What grade is that for?
This is for 4th and 5th.
Jim Waltons is the keynote speaker.
He's for everybody.
Oh, he's for
okay.
everybody.
He's for everybody.
Oh, the guy
And
with
he will be
the
right after
Indiana
lunch.
Jones. Yeah.
He's for everyone.
Okay. I wonder if I've seen him before.
He's spoken in a couple of schools as a, worked with kids on leadership. He's got a pretty good unit on leadership,
Okay.
and he's got some good parent, ed classes that you guys ever want to use him for.
So is this not, there's not gonna be a donation asked for this?
Nope, this has always been,
So basically each school will send this to the parents.
no, we're
We're
sending.
going to mail it from the district. It's
Oh,
gonna
from
go
the
out.
district, okay, so.
So this is going out, the third grade identification letters are gonna go out, and then we're just trying to finalize summer school. So that's.
So as far as, now you're talking about sending things out, what would Shannon have had to done, would she have had to do to have her connect with the psychologist
That's
also?
parent education.
We would
The-
have to make it district sponsored.
What's that involved? How's that happen? What's involved?
We would have had to have a conversation here, we would have to recommend it, and have to run through gate advisory. And then we
Meeting
could
this,
make it.
meeting this week.
We could make it. So if we wanted to do continued parent ed, that could be a part of what we do.
So what do we do to make that happen?
The next meeting in 2 months, so then we
You
can.
and I can just talk about
Okay.
it. You and I just talk about it. What do you wanna do? Just so that I'm clear, so I know what's going on. It sounds like last night was great.
Yeah, I think it would have been helpful really for,
And
any parent.
it wasn't exclusive. I mean, anybody that emailed me and said, I've got one of these third grade kids, I said, this is a district-wide event, it's open to anyone,
I'd be happy to,
So-
happy to work with you.
And these need to go back to the censor draft.
Yes, would you
Oh.
please give it back to me?
Wait.
Until they're,
Oh,
I
wrote all
I
of
can't
that.
give it to Kat?
That's fine. You can write on it, just have to get back.
thank you.
You should write on yours.
Yeah.
Just, if, we're hoping that the summer school does happen, if it does happen, it's gonna happen the week of June 10th, which is the week after school is out. So if anybody wants to save the date, but until you hear from us whether or not, I'll send it through
I'm
Kathy.
trying to get it done to go out with all this other stuff.
Yeah, I know. So anyways, if that would, it just kind of a FYI.
So we're just having to work on the letter of intent.
So for the next meeting, what's on the agenda? You'll come back and let us know what was decided to do moving forward? Is that?
I think we'll come back with further information and about where we're gonna go and what we're gonna do next year.
Is it possible to have some of this discussion over email in between the 2 months?
What decision,
Like if you want to share some of those things with us next month?
if I have things that have come out. If we've had conversations about it, things that are wrong, I could share with you.
I think that's cool. I mean, we meet pretty frequently. So it's, like, for example, if somebody wanted to have a parent event in April,
Oh, then you can just talk to me, that's fine. Just talk to me about the parent piece, that's fine.
And then this advisory committee wouldn't occur anymore then, next year?
No, GATE still needs to, we still have to move up our GATE students, right? That was
Yeah,
the whole
and I
purpose.
think GATE advisory.
But there won't be gate, it'll be site-by-site enrichment, so.
They'll still be
Enrichment
identified gate kids, that's that, if we decide, if we
Right,
make the
because it's
decision
the
to not
current
identify,
testing.
there'll still be gate
Okay.
identified kids. And I also think there's a place to have conversations about how do we bring parent ed for our higher achieving kids, how do we talk about differentiation and enrichment and all those pieces. So I think the advisory piece is still an important piece to move forward, so I would not see getting rid of something like that. I mean,
And
it's a
even
good
to-
meeting.
To Craig's point, even if, like, this year's third graders we don't identify after that, and 5 years when they graduate, there still needs to be GATE. The state considers GATE for K through 12 or K through 8. So we still need to meet to talk about the classroom, and I really want to echo that classroom piece of differentiation and how we get there, because I feel like it's always about enrichment, and we're really, as a teacher, it's about what teachers are doing with their students, not what parents are doing with their own students.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I don't, so to answer your question, no, we can continue.
And so, weather identification is done next year is still,
We're still gathering input,
gathering input.
still trying to, make a good decision, an informed decision. One that will not make everyone happy one way or the other.
Do you think Greg will be at the May? We're just gonna make sure.
Anything else? Okay, I think we're done.
So are you gonna add third grade? What? Are you gonna add third grade?
No, it's only for one
There's not a certain rules for another.
But before you had done, was it in third grade?
That's just summer school.
Oh, summer school, I knew somebody.
It's always been 4 or 5.
Yeah, 5 years.